First introduced in a British anthology comic 2000 AD, Judge Dredd is one of the pillars of pop culture legacy. He was created by John Wagner and Carlos Ezquerra in 1977, and he soon popularized the dystopian sci-fi genre to the point that this comic series expanded into an entire franchise. While Judge Dredd has been the titular character in several comics, films, and video games, the fictional Mega City is also home to several other powerful mutant characters, judges, and so on. Today, we've curated a list of the top 10 most infamous mutants from the Judge Dredd universe. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Johnny Alpha. Introduced as the main character of the Star-Lord and 2000 AD comic strip, Johnny Alpha was born as John Creelman in 2150 AD. Right from his birth, he was a mutant warped in his mother's womb due to the Strontium-90 fallout during the nuclear war, while his father was an anti-mutant bigot in the British government. To keep his reputation intact, Johnny's father kept his true identity a secret and drafted anti-mutant laws while Johnny rebelled against him and eventually ran away to join the mutant army. He then assumed a new identity as Johnny Alpha and trained himself to use the alpha rays that shone through his eyes in order to defeat his opponents. In no time, Johnny Alpha became the face of the mutant uprising in 2167, but their operation didn't last long. To evade capture, Johnny and other members of the mutant army fled Earth and formed the Strontium Dogs, a team of galactic bounty hunters. Johnny Alpha was especially known for taking on bizarre missions, such as killing William Blood Moon, traveling back in time to hunt Adolf Hitler, and even neutralizing a necromancer named Shabbat. Around 2114 AD, he also embarked on a mission to travel back in time and team up with none other than Judge Dredd during the Judgment Day crisis. While he eventually died, he was resurrected with the help of some alien necromancers, and he made a fierce reappearance during the Second Mutant War. He displayed suicidal tendencies and even detonated a bomb at the American Parliament building to blow up the architects of the genocide. But fate had other plans for him, and he somehow managed to survive the bombing. While he was best known for his ability to emit alpha rays and see through solid matter and human minds, Johnny could also send telepathic messages and hold his fort in physical combat.
Lower your gun, rookie. I'm your backup.
Cassandra Anderson. Portrayed by Olivia Thirlby in the 2012 Dredd film, Cassandra Anderson is a recruit judge as well as a genetic mutant with psychic powers. She was born into a lower-class family in a slum that was located very close to the radiation boundary in Mega City 1, and she lost her parents at the age of 7. Soon enough, she took a judge aptitude test but struggled to pass it on her own, and the chief judge then gave her a special chance to prove herself. Cassandra relied on her mutant abilities and showcased her impressive psychic powers, which paved the way for her future attempts to become a rookie judge. The chief judge even tasked Judge Dredd with overseeing Cassandra's training and deciding whether she was fit to become a judge, and this journey led her to the Peach Trees block. Here, Cassandra used her psychic abilities to get to the root of the homicides and drug manufacturing activities in the block, and she soon passed these tests and became a member of Mega City 1's elaborate justice system. Cassandra's mutant abilities allowed her to read minds or even put herself into someone else's imagination through inception, and she did not shy away from using these powers to manipulate others. On an extreme level, she was even capable of taking control over someone's thoughts to the point where they thought they were in a new reality. Durham Red. Also known as Lucy Red Durham, this character was affiliated with the Strontium Dogs and was the eponymous protagonist of a comic strip titled Durham Red. She was essentially a vampiric mutant who often accompanied Johnny Alpha in his intergalactic bounty hunting missions and gained a reputation as the Strontium Bitch. While we don't know much about her story arc, Durham Red was placed in suspended animation for a whole millennium, and she woke up to find herself in a strange universe where she was being worshipped as a mythical mutant saint. After this excursion, she continued to live for several thousand years and even survived the end of humankind and the rise of a whole new world of mutants. Just like all other mutants in this list, Durham Red had a unique set of powers besides her proficiency in bounty hunting and fighting. She could perform hematophagy, a practice that allowed her to feed on the blood of lesser animals to fuel her powers and provide nourishment. Her character was initially named Chelsea Blue, but creators John Wagner Wagner and Alan Grant eventually settled on the name Lucy Red Durham, and even revealed that she was also mutated by the same strontium-90 that transformed Johnny Alpha. Fink Angel. Introduced as the eldest son of Elmer Pa Angel, Flink Angel was affiliated with the Angel Gang and was trained to be a killer from a young age. While his brothers also underwent mutations, Fink Angel's mutant abilities were the strongest among them all, and he was often shunned by his own family. Over time, he joined the Cursed Earth Rats and worked with them to avenge his family, even though they had shunned him after the birth of his younger siblings. He was quite content living away from his family, and he embarked on several adventures across the Cursed Earth, where he would often rob or murder unsuspecting travelers. After Judge Dredd wiped out his bloodline, Fink Angel joined hands with a mutant named Ratty to travel to Mega City 1 and eradicate everyone associated with the Angel Gang's murders. He even killed Judge Larder using his signature MO of poisoning his victims with toxins, and he eventually descended into a madman who lost all his humanity until Judge Dredd took matters into his own hands and killed him. In an alternate universe, Fink Angel led a mutant army to destroy Mega City 1, burn the place to the ground, and even kill Judge Dredd by shoving Ratty down his throat. Owen Chrysler, the Mutant Messiah. Infamously known as one of the deadliest members in Judge Dredd's rogue gallery, Owen Chrysler, or the Mutant Messiah, was a major 2000 AD villain. Affiliated with Grunwalder, Chrysler lost his parents very young and underwent several transformations as his mutant powers manifested in his early teens. His eagle-shaped mark on his forehead gave him his unique powers, which also transformed his human body into a more elongated mass shape with a yellow twinge. Chrysler also had several arms branching out from his bulbous body, no eyes, and an expanded forehead that gave him an eerie look. After his parents' death, Chrysler grew quite ruthless and showed no emotions, even when he saw them get lynched in front of his eyes. He was also quite cocky and arrogant in nature, and he held a huge grudge against Judge Dredd after he abandoned him on Xanadu. When Judge Faye had embarked on a mission to find the Judge Child with telepathic and precognitive powers, Chrysler's life changed as they took them in and destined him to be the next ruler of Mega City 1. However, Judge Dredd was quite negligent in his mission to track Chrysler down and take care of him, and he soon learned that Chrysler was also responsible for spreading the Jigsaw disease across Xanadu. Even though Chrysler's intentions were evil, Dredd tried his best to reason with him and help him turn over a new leaf. But all these attempts were futile as Chrysler tried to assassinate Dredd. In a sequel story titled Destiny's Angels, Chrysler was eventually deemed irredeemable, and Magruder then ordered his execution and accepted that someone like him could never rule Mega City 1. Max Bubba. Created by Alan Grant and Carlos Esquerra, Max Bubba was a mutant criminal who worked alongside Impetigo Jones, Brute Mosley, and Skull, and traveled all the way back to 793 AD from the 22nd century. As Bubba embarked on his time-traveling adventures, he found himself in historic Norway, where he devised an unhinged plan to avenge mutant kind by torturing humanity. Bubba believed that humans had treated them as dirt over all these years, and that he had to take matters into his own hands and kill off the Vikings in the past to wipe out human history. However, he was soon defeated by Johnny Alpha, who had paired up with a Viking chieftain to put an end to Bubba's insanity. While he had no psychic abilities, Bubba's mutant strength lay in his brute strength and physique, which allowed him to hold his ground in one-to-one combat. Brother Morgur. Brother Morgur was undoubtedly one of the most unhinged tyrants in the Judge Dredd universe, and he was convinced that he was a godlike entity. He created the Muty Brotherhood and often tortured his followers, and he was seen forcing two of them to eat a can of baked beans to make sure that it wasn't poisoned in his very first appearance. Over time, he led his brotherhood to fight against the judges and even captured Judge Dredd, who managed to talk his way out of the situation. Somehow, Dredd convinced Morgur to release their prisoners by threatening to destroy his carvings on the mountain. But this didn't end well, as Morgur soon led his convoy to follow them back out. This paved the way for a full-on war in a ruined town, where Morgur's forces fought against Dredd and the rescued prisoners, while many of the mutants were distracted by the presence of a young mutant named Novar. When Brother Morgur's forces cornered Novar, Judge Dredd stepped in to save his life, and Novar then repaid the favor by stabbing Morgur in the heart and killing him. Father Earth. Known for leading a group of fanatical followers, Father Earth advocated for environmental safety in Megacity 1 and protested against the city's overflowing pollution levels. He was a mutant associated with the Doomsday Dogs, and he also had a distinct appearance as he was entirely covered in flowers and vegetation. He also had a large orange flower on his forehead, and he gained a cult-like following that dedicated their lives to pleasing him. Father Earth often depicted himself as a prophet and declared that they must destroy Megacity 1 if they wanted to make Earth a better place. He soon gathered over thousands of followers who blew up Megacity 1's power tower and even unleashed molten lava all over the streets. He then went on to free a bunch of deadly botanical exhibits upon the city. But in an ironic turn of events, he was killed by one of these exhibits known as the God Plant. Krayt. Known as a gigantic aquatic mutant, Krayt was a mutant militia leader who appeared as the main villain in the Gyre. He had a deep-rooted hatred against the judges, and he perceived himself as the savior of mutant kind. Over the course of several years, he put together an army of mutants to lead the assault on Sovsek in the ruined Megacity 2 when ex-judge Doya Meekins stepped up to warn the judges. Unfortunately, Krayt got wind of her plans and soon captured her, but not before she managed to send a distress beacon to Megacity 1. When Judge Dredd and Joy set out to investigate the beacon, Krayt was able to capture Dredd and knock Joyce out with a harpoon. He then bragged about his plans to use a weather control unit to bring chaos and destruction in Sovsek, unaware that Joyce survived the attack and brought in reinforcements to rescue Dredd and sabotage his attack. While the weather control unit was shut down, Krayt accepted his defeat against Dredd and Joyce's combined forces and made his peace with the fact that he could not save mutant kind after all. Gila Munja. Introduced as a group of mutant assassins, the Gila Munja wreaked havoc in the 2000 AD comic strip story Assault on I-Block 4. They were hired to defeat an ex-mobster named Shaky, who had allegedly made a deal with the judges to snitch on other mobs. To wipe him out, Gila Munja made their way to I-Block 4 and even killed their way through most of the building's residents, even if their members thinned out during the process. By the end, only one surviving Gila Munja faced Shaky all alone and even tore his steel door down to reach him. Unfortunately, this mission was unsuccessful, as Judge Dredd appeared at the scene and gunned him down, and this incident put the Gila Munja on the city's most wanted list. They were known for abilities such as turning themselves invisible, secreting toxic venom through their claws, and even scaling walls with incredible ease and strength. Marvelous verdict. And with that, we've explored every single mutant that had terrorized the streets of Megacity, right from Father Earth to Max Bubba and Durham Red. These characters have truly stirred up a whole lot of trouble, and we hope you enjoyed exploring their infamous antics with us. While Judge Dredd's fame is on a whole different level, these mutants have also created quite a reputation for themselves, and we'd love to hear all about your favorites in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.